There's been a big shift in sales, especially since COVID. Solar is typically sold in-home. So we'll have a sales consultant or an energy consultant go to a person's home, sit with the homeowners, educate them on how it works, what it's going to look like, everything else. And they'll typically make a decision at that point and sign a contract, and we'll do business together. When COVID came about, in-home sales were not really a thing for a good couple of years. So for companies to survive, they had to turn to virtual sales. So selling online, doing the same thing, but doing a screen share, not a screen share, but a Zoom call or whatever. And seeing the success of that through COVID, a lot of companies just kept rolling with it. And then, of course, a lot of companies at that point, especially I mentioned before about sales dealers, all they do is sell, they don't install, they don't have licenses, all that kind of stuff. Those companies really are not contained by kind of any borders or limitations. And so seeing the success of selling online or virtually through COVID planted the seed in their head of like, well, I can sell you to anyone, anywhere in the country. And now I know of salespeople that live in different parts of the world and sell in America. And they're not taking the time to educate. In most cases, I don't want to say everybody's like this, but in most cases, they're not taking the time to educate themselves on the different nuances that every market has, specifically when it comes to the utility. Every utility company is different, and how they work with a solar customer is different. And a lot of salespeople treat it as a cookie cutter thing. They say, hey, listen, any energy you send to the grid, you'll get a 1-for-1 credit for. You use that up at night, you'll use up that credit at the same value as what it was you sent it. And that's just not the case in a lot of the country. And so if you're working with someone who's selling virtually, and you're in South Carolina and they're in Utah, or they're on a beach in Mexico, or whatever it is, there's a very good chance they have no idea about your utility company and how they work. And a lot of utility companies, especially smaller ones like co-ops, municipals, they don't have good information on their websites. Some of the bigger ones do, some of the smaller ones do, but a lot of them do not. So it's very hard to get this information. You'll call them, you'll leave messages. They don't care, they don't call you back because you're not their customer. So it's very hard to get information. So if you're working with a person or a salesperson that's not in your area and doesn't know your area, chances are you're getting inaccurate information. And that's going to set you up for one expectation, and you're going to get a very different outcome from what the solar will provide you. In a lot of cases, a lot of utility companies have large fees when you go solar, and these people don't know that. So all of a sudden you're expecting to save a lot of money. Now your overall electric expenses have gone up because you didn't know about the fees that come with solar. So these are the things you want to be very careful of when you're buying remotely. I would always prefer to buy with someone who is in your area, who knows your area. And at the very least, if they're not, they need to have very detailed explanation of how your utility company works. And I would even ask for verification of that. Like, do you have a printout, some sort of, where can you show me that that's what this utility company does? So buying local is always a good thing. It's always a good principle for anything really, but solar is no different.